In this video, we're going to look at transformations, reflections, and vertical and horizontal shifts. The first example we're going to look at is vertical shifts. Here we have g of x is equal to x squared plus 2. H of x is equal to x squared minus 2. Now, I'm going to write one more function. F of x is equal to x squared. This is the base function, and if we vertically shift x squared up, we get g of x, and if we vertically shift it down, we get h of x. Now, when you're doing a vertical shift, if you have f of x plus h, then we're going to shift it vertically up. And if you have f of x minus h, like we do in h of x, we're going to vertically shift it down. So now let's take a look at the picture. And we have three parabolas. Now this parabola that goes through the origin, the middle parabola, that is our f of x. And now, if we shift every point up 2 units, then we get g of x. And if we shift each point down 2 units, then we get h of x. The next shift that I want to look at is the horizontal shift. So here we have g of x is equal to x plus 3 squared, and h of x is equal to x minus 3 squared. And again, f of x is equal to x squared. So now the shift is inside the parentheses, and it's a horizontal shift. So here we're going to have x plus 3 squared is going to be shifting left 3 units. Now, it's a little bit different than vertical shift. When we had a vertical shift, if it was positive, we went up, and if it was negative, we went down, and it made sense. Here, if it's positive, you're actually going left. So you need to remember to go the opposite way of the sign, or remember that it's whatever value makes the inside of the parentheses 0, that's where the vertex is going to be. So here, for g of x, x plus 3 squared, the vertex is going to be at negative 3, 0. So let's take a look at the picture. And you can see there's 3 parabolas again. And this furthest one to the left, this is our g of x. And the middle parabola, that is our f of x. And then here on the far right side, it says f of x is equal to x minus 3. But we have this labeled as h of x on our picture. So there are the 3 parabolas, and you can see that for h of x, we moved everything to the right 3 units, and it was x minus 3 squared, and we went right. So opposite the sign, or whatever value makes the inside 0. The last thing we want to look at is reflections. So the original function, f of x is equal to x minus 3 squared, is the same function we just looked at. And we can see the picture as well. And now, the one thing I want to do is I want to keep track of points f of 0. And in our picture, that's equal to 9. And f of 3, which is equal to 0. And f of 6, which is equal to 9 as well. And now the first thing I want to look at is a reflection on the x-axis. And here, to get a reflection on the x-axis, we're going to have y is equal to negative f of x. And in this case, we're going to say that the new function shifted to negative x minus 3 squared. And if we do this, let's take a look at f of 0. F of 0 is equal to negative 9. F of 3 is still equal to 0. And f of 6 is now equal to negative 9. So you can see that all the outputs change signs. And now we take a look at the picture, you can see that the parabola has been reflected over the x-axis. The next reflection I want to look at is the reflection on the y-axis. And here, to get that, we're going to put the negative inside the parentheses. So we have y is equal to f of negative x. And if we do that, we get negative x minus 3 squared. And now f of 0 is equal to 9. And now we're changing the negative inside the parentheses. So I'm going to take a look at f of negative 3 instead of f of 3. And that's equal to 0. And also I'm going to look at f of negative 6 instead of 6, and that's equal to 9. And when we take a look at the picture, we can see that the reflection of the y-axis changes the negative sign on the input instead of the output like it did above. And now we want to look at a reflection of the origin. So now, in order to get a reflection of the origin, we're going to reflect on the y and the x-axis. So we're going to have negative f of negative x is equal to negative x minus 3 squared. And now I'm going to take a look at f of 0. And f of 0 is equal to negative 9. And f of negative 3 is equal to 0, and f of negative 6 is equal to negative 9. And now if we take a look at the picture, we can see that we reflected over the x-axis and then over the y-axis, or we reflected over the y-axis and then over the x-axis. And the signs inside and out of the parentheses, the inputs and the outputs, both change signs. And that's all for this video on reflections, horizontal and vertical shifts.